So, in case you didn't know, Amazon is creating a Lord of the Rings series for Amazon Prime, which they spent a lot of money for, by the way. And they're also putting a humongous budget behind it. The season budget apparently is $465 million, which will make it one of the most expensive shows ever made, which is pretty crazy. Well, it should be to expected, right? I mean, look at the 3 movies. Those were, in my opinion, masterpieces. Great movies. Love the Lord of the Rings trilogy. The Hobbit, not so much. Hobbit's okay. It's fun to see some stuff there, but man, they stretched it out so much. Couple of things to touch on. I didn't make a video on this, so I just want to go over this, and then we'll go over some of the finger quotes criticisms that Lord of the Rings is receiving. Now, apparently, Lord of the Rings, it sounds like they're going to make this show woke, which, in my opinion, is a mistake. There's signs of it. It might not happen. We might just get a good show. It's hard to say. I've watched Nerdrotic talk about this a lot because he's big time into Lord of the Rings, and he's had a lot of really interesting comments on this franchise at Amazon and what they might do, what they could do, and what he thinks they're going to do. So check those out. It's good stuff. But this always bothered me. Lord of the Rings needs to work for a giant global audience, says Amazon Studios chief. Yeah, that little-known series that nobody's heard of, Lord of the Rings. Have you heard of Lord of the Rings? Who? What? I'm sure it's unknown to the globe, considering that those movies made tons of money. The brand is huge because of those movies. Everyone's heard of it. You know what this is? It's a blanket statement for we got to get woke. Going woke is going to bring in the big bucks for Lord of the Rings. It's going to bring down fortune to Amazon, and we are going to get this unknown indie movie out to everybody. Give me a break. Everybody knows what Lord of the Rings is. I love when people were roasting the hell out of this comment because it's stupid. Like it's some little indie unknown movie that people never knew about and has slowly become some kind of cult classic. No, everybody knows about Lord of the Rings. This is just a blanket woke statement. So now you've got a lot of criticism coming out. Mortal Kombat star Ludi Lin criticizes Amazon's upcoming Lord of the Rings series for apparent lack of any characters that look Asian. How would you even know? Like, this show isn't even out yet. How would you know what they have or don't have in the show, Mr. Lin? You don't know. But this is the Mortal Kombat franchise. I dug the reboot. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect by far, but it had cool fights, and there really wasn't a lot of lecturing. Actually, there was no lecturing. It was a good, fun movie. Was it a stimulating intellectual movie? No. And in some ways, the old 1995 movie, I think it's the 95 movie, right? It's in the 90s somewhere. That movie is a little bit better, in my opinion. But I want to see where they go with this. Apparently, it's going to be a trilogy. But a couple of the actors involved in this movie have been running around being woke. And it's like, will you stop ruining your movie? You were good Liu Kang. I don't really need your opinion on Lord of the Rings. Now, Lord of the Rings, in case you don't know, kind of was supposed to be like British mythology. It takes place in parts of Europe where, well, they would all look like the people in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I don't really care if they decide to, I wouldn't honestly care if they decide to, cast some Asian actors in there. Who cares? But it's just these big statements. Like, this guy's obviously looking for woke points. And in some ways, in my opinion, I think that one of the reasons why he comes out and does this is he's basically saying, look, Amazon, hire me. In a lot of ways, this is the modern job application, right? So now Mr. Lin here has his face out there. He was just in a pretty big movie, Mortal Kombat, big entertainment movie. A lot of people saw it, did pretty good at the box office, displayed his skills, very talented martial artist. He's got his skills out there. Now what he does is puts a work application out there. Look, I'm looking for work. Let me stand in my soapbox and let you know that I need work. And, you just saw me. So now I'm going to make this. It's going to be difficult to justify building a huge world without any characters that look Asian. Turn that imagine on us. It's not hard. We're right here. Amazon boss justifies Lord of the Rings $465 million budget, huge world building. So he's basically saying, look, I'm right here, hire me, while also giving him the finger. And then he goes on to say, let's put a little Asia and Fantasia, some of Middle Kingdom in Middle Earth. Your biggest fans have been waiting since the first age for it, just saying. Now, I don't care if this were to happen, right? I don't care. I'd be fine with it. It's not a big deal to me. The characters that they're not supposed to be able to contradict anything that was in Peter Jackson's trilogy. It's supposed to be a prequel to those, from what I understand. So whatever the characters look like in those movies, I believe they're going to have to look like in the Amazon Prime series. But if you want to bring in some new character or whatever, I don't really care. I'm not a purist in some things, but it's just funny to me when these people get on their soapbox like this, and it's an obvious ploy for a job and for woke Twitter points, because like I've always said, the new currency isn't cash money, it's Twitter likes and retweets, because these people already have tons of money. They're millionaires. I mean, to the point, how much more money do you need? So now it's all about that social currency, and that's exactly what he's doing here. Make no mistake, I ain't bitching. Just a bit disappointed that one of the best fantasies in the world ain't showing love to all fans in the world. Gotta say, though, anyone who thinks LOTR is for the folks only because it's purely a fantasy, you gotta check yourself. And then, of course, he's replying to some people that replied to him and stuff like that. So he got a little bit of clapback, and then he just doubles down on the racism thing. So, maybe they'll cast him. This is apparently, in my opinion, a job application, because who wouldn't want to be involved in one of the biggest franchises in the world with one of the hugest budgets in the world? It's likely going to be a huge payday. So bring me in, Amazon. I want to make a little bit of that money. Look, I can get on a soapbox. So that's pretty much it for that one. Anyway, let me know what you think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. And as always, I will see all of you on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that, and subscribe if you're new.